That was a clinical by Christian Eriksen. And for Ireland, a couple of goals that were conceded that were really unlucky. I thought Christie could have done a better job of clearing off the goal line. Um, that led to Denmark's equalizer. It was a very scrappy, sloppy goal, the first one. I thought one of the goals in the second half really was a poor clearance in the Irish defense. But the other three goals that Denmark scored were phenomenal. Christian Eriksen had some wonderful strikes earlier today. And if anything, this leg showed the gap in quality between teams like Ireland and teams like Denmark. I said before many times that Ireland is very much a side who doesn't have very many stars. They don't hardly have any, really. They're more of a collective. They rely on their sum being better than their parts. Teams like Denmark have superstars. And it wasn't just Christian Eriksen today that shined for the Danes. Uh, I don't know how to say his name. Shisto. Uh, he was absolutely incredible today. I mean, my God, the speed of that guy when Denmark was on the counter was unbelievable. And that's what really got Denmark through this match. Ireland came up against a team that was man per man individually more richly talented than they were. I also think what hurt Ireland in this match was Martin O'Neill's decision to go with a diamond formation in midfield because that gave Christian Eriksen a lot of space to work with. O'Neill's diamond in midfield really, I thought, backfired on Ireland. But things were going so well, not just in the previous leg when they got a draw on the road 0-0, but and they came home here with the home advantage, but the first 10 minutes of the game, Ireland had taken the lead early on, 1-0. It looked like they were going to the World Cup. Darren Randolph made a 3 or 4 really fantastic saves. Never. If you told me in the 10th minute Denmark would come from behind to win this 5-1, I wouldn't believe it. Once Ireland went ahead, I thought to myself, okay, if they get one more, it's done. They almost scored again. They almost scored again within 10 minutes of their first goal. That would have put them up 2-0. But they hit the side netting. And then from there, Denmark got the equalizer, and Ireland was just never the same. It was really unlucky for Ireland to concede the first goal, like I said, but once Christian Eriksen put them ahead, I think it was just two or so minutes later, that really took the wind out of Ireland's sails because once Denmark scored 2 goals in quick succession, Ireland would have had needed at least 2 goals to go through because you have to remember uh, they pull one back, they tie it 2-2, they still don't go through because of the away goals rule. So I think it was a sucker punch. I think it was a really big sucker punch to the gut of the Irish uh, once Denmark all of a sudden out of nowhere just pulled two goals out of their ass essentially, uh, and just took the lead just like that. I mean, you take the lead first, and then your opponent scores 2 goals in quick succession. That's got to knock the wind out of you. I'm sorry. Um, as better of as a team and also individually, like I said, I think Denmark is over Ireland. Um, I don't think the scoreline accurately reflects the gap in quality between them because Ireland should not be losing 5-1 to teams like Denmark. They should be losing 5-1 to teams like Brazil or Germany or someone else. Denmark, as good as they are, they're not amongst the best teams in the world. So I do think a large part of it was, yes, Denmark was the better team, but I also think that those two goals really threw Ireland off. It really threw them off, and they didn't regroup properly to come back into the second half. It looked like they were far gone. But Denmark, how about it? I mean, they're returning to the World Cup. They were not in Brazil in 2014, but they were in South Africa in 2010. So they join Sweden and Iceland. We have, for the first time ever, we have three Nordic countries in the same World Cup. Talk about Arab teams. We have four Arab teams: Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Tunisia, and Morocco. We now have three Nordic countries for the first time ever in the same World Cup. Same World Cup, three Nordic countries, and also first time ever in the same World Cup, three Nordic countries and four Arab teams. So that's seven. You're going to have almost 1/4 of all teams in Russia are either Nordic and or Scandinavian and Arab. So that's a pretty stunning record for both, I guess, ethnic groups, or I guess regions. Yeah, regions. Um, that's pretty cool because last time in 2014, for the first time in a very long time, we had no Nordic participation in the World Cup. Zero. Now, for the first time ever, we have three. So that's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. I'm glad Sweden made it back to the World Cup. They qualified yesterday. I made a video on that. Iceland qualified a little while ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And now with Denmark. I mean, that's even cooler. So congratulations to Denmark, and we'll see what they're made of in the World Cup. They certainly, of the three Nordic countries that qualified, they have the biggest star amongst them in Christian Eriksen. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Danish perform in Russia next year. Will they have a better tournament than they did in South Africa 2010? Time will tell. So congratulations, Denmark. Hard luck to the Republic of Ireland. I really wanted to see them back in a World Cup, but they're going to have to wait a little bit longer. So thank you for watching. Hopefully I see you tomorrow. Have a good night. God willing, I see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Much love and peace.